representing the initiating post for this, which is Riverside Post 79, is Ray Trusper. Ray is also, he's the Sergeant at Arms at Post 79. He's an American Legion Rider. He is a Patriot Guard Rider. Ray? Well, thank you, Reese. Without that man who introduced me, we all wouldn't be here today to honor the Four Chaplains who so long ago gave it all so that some could live on. The efforts of requesting honors at our vast memorials across our country are easily decided. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, could I have done that? And that's exactly what Reese has done here today. I am from American Legion Post 79, Riverside, current Sergeant at Arms, American Legion Rider, and Sons of the American Legion. Along with my Legion duties, I'm also a 7-year member of the Patriot Guard Riders. I'm proud that it was our post that initiated and approved this resolution by Reese to present to Mount Soledad the plaque honoring the Four Chaplains. I'm often asked as a veteran, where do men like this come from? How does it come to be that men do extraordinary things like these Four Chaplains? I always answer that question the same way when I'm asked. There is one common denominator in men like this. They have their faith, a strong belief in their faith. With faith comes courage. Courage overrides fear, as men that have lived from those extreme circumstances in war have told me that very point. One person who stands out in my mind on that is Major General Patrick Brady, Medal of Honor recipient. He told me that very same thing in 2007 at our American Legion State Convention when I spoke and presented him with the American Legion Lifetime Achievement Award, that knowing God gave him the strength to persevere. Now, I have been blessed to have been in all but one of our 50 states, and hopefully someday I will be able to see Alaska out my front door. But what I find amazing about our country is the vast memorials we have throughout the states, even right down to the small towns in those states that have some kind of memorial commemorating a battle, a war hero, or other acts or actions of historical importance. And then, who knows why in some cases, but even on private land, a small section of land has been dignified and named. In my own personal case, on the farm that I grew up in Wisconsin, it has a small area, a low spot, in the middle of the farm at the very back portion of our land. It is surrounded by oak trees on 3 sides and is formerly known by our family as Hell's Half Acre, affectionately named by my dad. It has never been farmed and most likely hasn't changed over much in many years. But in time, maybe the name Hell's Half Acre will be lost and that low bottom land will maybe serve some other purpose. Well, I now have a purpose. And then we have Mount Soledad. Its original background may have been a place for Christian worship, but it has changed. It is now and has been for years a veterans memorial. Such things, and yes, land does retain the right to change. And today, we've come here to honor the Four Chaplains as part of this Veterans Memorial. And the thought never came to my mind, as I visited this site before, that someday I would be speaking here on behalf of these 4 men in front of all of you. In my readings, I have come to align myself with Chaplain George Fox as my being chaplain of the American Legion Riders. Lieutenant Fox, as myself, are both from a Methodist background, members of the American Legion, and Lieutenant Fox had a son who joined the Marine Corps, as did myself. Those kind of connections bring a personal touch as I speak here today, for I am touched by what these men did. And sometimes it is easy to be desensitized by so many acts of valor and stories in our wars our country has fought. Who are these people that feel wearing and exhausted? I don't accept that. Not when it comes to our military men and women. And for those who are really patriotic, can only imagine in their minds those acts of valor. The sounds, the voices, the commands, the radio communications, the gunfire, and the death. The list goes on. On the worst side of things, as I mentioned earlier, that being from Wisconsin has tied me into the fight to save Mount Soledad. The originator of that lawsuit, Philip Paulson, is also from Wisconsin, as is the home and headquarters of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, whose headquarters is in Madison, Wisconsin, just 20 minutes from the farm and Hell's Half Acre. And that's a shame. And I do not align myself with that. Rather, it is my hope that this memorial that is under attack, and now, as of today, will hold the plaque to honor these four chaplains, that they, once again, will not have to go down with a different kind of sinking ship, but rather they will win this battle and therefore live again forever, as with the cross you see here. Joining me today in the crowd is my better half, Diane, and a friend of mine, John Coyle, who I've known since the first grade. And even though John and I shared the same teachers in first and second, John and I became close friends in the third grade. We both ended up as candidates for speech class in the fourth grade, both having problems with THs and Rs. But our friendship had grown higher in the third grade, and I know that if the day comes that the battle to save Mount Soledad goes south, that he will join me up here, chained to that cross, in salute of veterans named here on this hill. But I have faith. I have faith because in my hand, and this microphone, in my hand, I hold the Bible that was once issued to my grandfather, John, during World War II. Remember that? So with that in my faith, Mount Soledad will remain as it is where it is. And when victory comes, let it be known to those who wish to destroy it and have it removed that I have a very special place back there in Wisconsin just for them, where they can live for eternity in Hell's Half Acre.
I quickly want to add, because I know I will pay dues if I don't, Ray is a former United States Marine. We have with us today a representative of the State Senator Joe Anderson, our 36th district, representing this district, Jesse Guy from the field staff. Jesse.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here today on behalf of Senator Joel Anderson. I want to thank Mr. Reese and all the other veterans who are here today for your service to this country and dedication to preserving the memory of those who have fallen. For nearly 60 years, the Mount Soledad Cross has been a memorial to honor our fallen soldiers and a symbol of military service and sacrifice here in San Diego. It is a privilege to be here today in order to help commemorate the Four Chaplains Day by enshrining in this incredible monument the sacrifice of those brave men. With that, I want to present this certificate of recognition from Senator Joel Anderson on behalf of the California State Senate, thanking you, the members of American Legion Post 79. And Ray, would you mind coming down here to accept this on behalf of your Legion? The certificate reads as follows. In special recognition of your commitment to honoring our fallen heroes by commemorating the sacrifice of the Four Chaplains at the Mount Soledad Monument and your unyielding dedication to serving our nation. Senator Anderson thanks you and for your leadership and your commitment to ensuring that these American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice 71 years ago today are never forgotten. Thank you.